Intel Core Ultra 7 265K 20-thread CPU is faster than Ryzen 9 9900X 24-thread CPU in benchmark leak. The latest benchmarks of Intel's Core Ultra 7 265K CPU have leaked out, in which it manages to outpace the AMD Ryzen 9 9900X. Intel Core Ultra 7 265K Aralic CPU beats AMD Ryzen 9 9900X Zen 5 inches in multi-threaded benchmark despite having lower threads. The Intel Core Ultra 7 265K Aralic CPU has seen various leaks such as CPU-Z, AIDA64, V-Ray, and Geekbench. Now, the CPU has been tested once again in the Geekbench 6 benchmark and shows slightly better performance, which is to be expected as we get closer to the launch and see results of final silicon with close to retail optimizations and BIOS patches. The Intel Core Ultra 7 265KF will be the second fastest Aralic CPU within the Core Ultra 200K desktop lineup. The chip will feature 20 cores, 20 threads, a base clock of 3.9 GHz, and boost clocks of up to 5.50 GHz. It will also carry 33 MB of L3 cache and feature a 125 watts, PL1, TDP. Recent reports suggest that the chip will ship with 177 watts, default PL2, and 250 watts, performance PL2, modes which users will be able to set manually. The latest benchmark was carried out on an MSI PROZ890P Wi-Fi motherboard using the balanced power plans, and the chip can be seen running at up to 5.5 GHz clock speeds, which is also its peak boost clock. The platform featured 32 GB of DDR5 memory, though the exact clock rate and timings are not reported. Update: September 16, 2024, Intel's Core Ultra 9 285K CPU benchmarks have also been loaded into the same benchmark and show slightly better multi-threaded performance with DDR5 5600. The CPU scored 3,186 points in single-core and 21,075 points in the multi-core tests. We have uploaded the scores in the charts below. The single-core score is the same as the Core Ultra 7 265K, shows that there is some optimization issue that needs to be fixed, so expect much better scores with the final silicon. In terms of performance, the CPU scored 3,186 points in single-core and 19,799 points in the multi-core tests. The single-core score is a tad bit slower than the previous entry, which broke past 3,200 points, but the multi-core score sees a nice improvement and manages to beat the Ryzen 9 9900X, a 12-core and 24-thread chip. Both the AMD Ryzen 9 9900X and Intel Core Ultra 7 265K should be the main competitors, as the Ryzen 7 9700X lacks the multi-threading prowess to compete against Core i7s or Core Ultra 7. The AMD Ryzen 9 9700X will instead be positioned against the Core Ultra 5 245K, and while gaming performance will be the primary focus, Intel would have the lead in multi-threading due to a similar situation of higher cores, 14 versus 8, despite having slightly lower threads. It should also be mentioned that the Core Ultra 7 265K sits right next to the Core i9 13900K, which is a 32-threaded chip, and that is impressive. We obviously can't wait to test the next-gen Intel Aralic CPU lineup ourselves and show you the new competitive landscape in the coming months. The launch is expected to take place on the 24th of October, so stay tuned as we get closer.